So hello everyone, this is lecture 5 for the electricity and magnetism. In the last lecture we have started our new topic, that is electrostatic potential, and we have completed this for the discrete charges. So today let's see for the continuous charge distribution. We have a spherical cell and charge is only on the surface, and we need to find the electric potential at this P point. So the simple formula is for at any point R, first we need to take a charge, unit charge from infinity to this point R up to the surface. Then we need to take this charge from capital R to small r. So we'll take this electric field in two separate ways. First for the E2, that is for outside, then E1 inside for moving here to here, and E2 for the moving the infinity to this point. So it will be E dot dl from infinity to R and R to small r. So for E2, we know this charge will be concentrated at the point, so electric field will be, we already know this electric field. And inside this spherical cell there is no charge, so using the Gauss law we can say that E1 is 0. So this will be 0, we need to integrate this only, and E2 will be q upon 4 pi epsilon r square. So infinity to r, this will give you q upon 4 pi epsilon r, and this will be constant. Means to take any charge up to here means potential at this point will be constant. That is equal to what is the potential at the surface, that is q by 4 pi epsilon r. So that's why we say that potential inside a spherical cell will remain constant, that is equal to what is at the surface. At all the surface the potential will be same, that is q by 4 pi epsilon capital R. So for r greater than r, now for any point outside the sphere, that will be simply same, means q by 4 pi epsilon r, means that will be simple, means only the second electric field is there, infinity to r will give you this, and integrating will get this formula q by 4 pi epsilon r. It means potential is inversely proportional to 1 upon r. So let's see the next case, uniformly charged dielectric sphere. So this time it is not hollow. Now we have a uniformly charged dielectric sphere, means you have a dielectric and charge is uniformly distributed inside it. So for r less than r, you know this time this E1 is also exist, because in spherical cell there was 0 inside, but this time for the dielectric sphere we already calculated this value for the electric field, that inside it will be qr by 4 pi epsilon r cube. So I can show you where we calculate this. So we did this here. This is spherical cell, and inside the R we find it this value as this. So here rho is the charge density, charge per unit volume. So q over 4 pi epsilon 4 upon 3 pi r cube will give you again the same value as we are using. So that will be this one. So for r less than r, E1 is this, and E2 is same as it was here. So we can just use these values, and this time we don't put E2 equal to 0, sorry, E1 equal to 0. We will use both the values for the infinity to capital R and capital R to small r. So it will be, for the second one it will be remain same, r greater than r, this will be potential is same, q by 4 pi epsilon capital R, and minus this r dr for the E1 dr will give you r square by 2, and putting the limit, that is will be small r to means capital R to small r, so that will be r square minus r square divided by 2. So we will just calculate this and you will get this potential. So this is a simple case, we just substitute in place of E1 where we are taking 0 here, but this time we put it this one and we calculate it, we get the potential formula this one. So this is equal to this again, q by 8 pi epsilon r 3 minus r square by capital R square. Now see, if you need to find at the center, then you will put r equal to 0. For the dielectric sphere, if you need to find a potential at the center, r equal to 0, it will give you 3q divided by 8 pi epsilon naught r. So this will be a potential at the center of the dielectric sphere. Now if you need to find this value, Vr by 2 minus Vr by r by 4 inside a dielectric sphere, then you know it is a formula for Vb minus Va. So this is simply A to B minus E dot dl. So in place of AB we will write r by 4 r by 2. We just put the value of E1 because this is inside the sphere. So we'll use the inside formula that I given you here, this one. So just integrate this, it will give you r square by 2, then put the limits, you will get this formula. So it can be solved in this way. Now we have a new case, we have a two dielectric spheres, and we need to find VO1 minus VO2. So first we need to find the potential at this one and this, and then minus this one. So for this one, the center will give you, we already find the value for the center, 3q by 8 pi epsilon naught, and the radius, that is A here this time. So 3q by 8 pi epsilon naught A, plus now potential at this point because of this dielectric sphere is at the 2a distance, so it will be minus q by 4 pi epsilon naught 2a simply. and charge minus, that's why we are taking minus here. Now minus potential at the O2. So due to this whole sphere, the center will give you minus 3q by 8 pi epsilon naught a. Now because of this sphere, it will be q by 4 pi epsilon naught 2a. So the net value will be q by 2 pi epsilon naught a. Now let's take one more case for the long rod. Means you have infinitely long rod. You know what is the electric field at point R. We already calculated this value. So E will be lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught R. Now we are finding the potential at this point. So we are not finding it from infinity to this point. Why? Because this rod is already tending to infinity. So we take an arbitrary point A, and we are taking this potential this point from that point to that point. Okay. So VR minus VA will be given by A to R E dot dl. Simply we know this formula from here. So A to R we know this E. So integrate this will give you log R, and substituting the limit it will give you minus lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught log R by A. So now if you know A point, the potential at A point, so you can just find this value. So you can find the potential at this point in respect to any point, arbitrary point A. Now we have a circular ring, and we need to find the potential at this distance d from the circular ring. So electric field we already calculated, qd over 4 pi epsilon naught r square plus d square 3 by 2. D is this distance and direction is z cap. Now potential at p point will be minus infinity to this d E dot dl. E is this value, and in place of dl we will write dz because this direction is z. So in place of d we will write z r square plus z square 3 by 2. Now again we can integrate this by putting means substituting the value for r square z plus z square equal to t square. So it will give you this. Now integrate this and substitute the limits. So just integration, this is simple integration, you will get Vp equal to this value. Now if you need to find the potential at the center of the ring, so put d equal to 0, so you will get q by 4 pi epsilon naught capital R. So this will be your potential at the center of the circular ring. Now we have this case, we have two circular rings, and we need to find VO1 and VO2. So what is the VO1? So it is the potential due to this ring. First at the center it will be q by 4 pi epsilon naught R1. Now at the center, because of this ring, it will be d distance apart, so we'll use this formula. It will be q2 by under root r2 square plus d square. 4 pi epsilon naught is taken common. So this is potential at the O1. Now at the O2, because of this ring at the center will be q2 by 4 pi epsilon naught R2. Now because of this ring, the potential at this point is d distance apart, so use this r1 square plus d square q1 from here. So that's how you can find the potential just using the superposition principle. Now we have a circular disc, and it is made up of a large number of circular rings definitely. So we can just integrate this from the simple ring to complete disc. So dV due to the single disc at this point, which is d distance apart, will be this from here. We use this formula. Now this is dq charge. This will be your formula. Now dq is nothing but, if this is your surface, then surface charge density will be sigma, and sigma multiplied by area of this ring will be 2 pi r dr. So it will give you the dq charge. Now 4 pi epsilon naught under root r square plus d square. So now you need to integrate this r from 0 to r to get the complete electric field from the complete potential for the complete disc. So 0 to r dr, 2 pi will give you 2 here, 2 epsilon naught. So integrate this. Again you can substitute r square plus d square equal to t square and solve this. You will get this value. So potential at the this d distance from the circular disc will be this. Now again you can just find the potential at this point also at the center of the disc by putting d equal to 0. It will give you r here, so sigma r divided by 2 epsilon naught. Now we have a rod which is 2L distance, means the length of the rod is 2L, and we need to find the total potential because of this uniformly charged length at the p point. So first let's assume we have a single dq charge here, and potential at this point is simply q over 4 pi epsilon naught r. So dq over 4 pi epsilon naught, and this r is x square plus d square. Now we need to find from this complete length, so we'll integrate this from minus L to L, and dq is nothing but lambda dx. So integrate this. Now you need to use the identity here for the integration, 1 upon under root x square plus d square. So in place of this we will have this integration, this kind of integration. So try to find this solution from anywhere. Just this is a simple identity for integration. You will get the result as, from here we will be lambda by 4 pi epsilon naught log L plus under root d square plus L square divided by d. So this will be your potential due to a rod of 2L length at this p point. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you everyone.